President Trump denied backing the botched coup in Venezuela. And then he followed that up with some bragging and veiled threats. Take a look.
Those two special forces, ex-special forces soldiers to go down there who are allegedly attacking Maduro.
We have nothing to do with it. Ainsley, if I wanted to go into Venezuela, I wouldn't make a secret about it. I'd go in, and they would do nothing about it.
Yeah,
they
would probably send more people, right?
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't send a small little group. No. It would be called an army.
Will you go and get them?
An army. Well, I don't know too much about it. This was a rogue group that went in there. A lot of Venezuelans. I think people from other countries also. Was a group of people that went in. I saw their pictures on a beach. It wasn't led by General George Washington, obviously. This was not a good attack. I think they were caught before they ever hit land. But I know nothing about it. I'd say this, the government has nothing to do with it at all. And, I have to find out what happened. But we don't need, if we ever did anything with Venezuela, it wouldn't be that way. It would be a slightly different. It would be called an invasion.
No, I didn't invade. But if I did, it would go tremendously. It would go swimmingly. It would go amazing. That's such a Trumpian response. So here's my theory on this. I kind of outlined it the last time we spoke about this. I think that the U.S. government was behind it because I don't think something like a coup happens without the blessing of the U.S. government. So I think the U.S. government was behind it, but there was a deal, and the deal was, hey, if you get caught, we're disowning it, and you're on your own, and we're going to say we're not behind it. But if they were to succeed, then Trump and his team would take the credit and say, we have an amazing partnership. It's an amazing partnership with an amazing private group. And that's the thing, is that obviously Republicans love these sort of public-private partnerships. They love contracting with private companies. So you have this company which did serve as personal security for Trump at some of his rallies. So there's absolutely a connection between Trump and his team and these people. And I think that that was part of the deal. And this way, it's a win-win for Trump and his team. If the coup doesn't succeed, they go, oh, I don't even know who this is. I've never even heard of these people. What does that even mean? There was a coup? I don't even know what coup means. Is that a new kind of car? Is that like a coupe? Is that like a two-door? So he gets to downplay it and swat it aside. But again, if they succeeded, do you really think that Trump would have been out there like not happy or saying like, this was not approved by the United States, this is not acceptable, they're a sovereign country? No, they would have been like, it was amazing, we overthrew Maduro and we put in the rightful president Juan Guaido. And that's the other thing, is I think the claims from some of the people who were caught is that Juan Guaido was paying them like over $200 million to try to pull this off. And where do you get that kind of money if there's not some sort of blessing of the U.S. government? I mean, over $200 million? $200 million. That's preposterous. And then also, the funniest part of all this is that they were caught by fishermen. I can't get over that. They were caught by fishermen. Now, if you think, well, because I thought this too, I'm like, really? So the U.S. government is somewhat involved in this, and they're that Bush League, they're that bad, that they get caught by fishermen. But then you think back and it's like, yeah, the U.S. has done many successful coups, but they've also messed them up too. Bay of Pigs is a great example. And then you have people were calling this, I love this, I saw Max Blumenthal and I think Ben Norton and some others calling this Bay of Piglets. Oh, it's too perfect. That's a perfect name. I love it so much. But, listen, it might seem like a crazy idea that the U.S. government would be behind this, but look at what we've been doing recently in the sense that Juan Guaido, this jackass right here, he's been pretending to be president of Venezuela for like over a year now. Literally been traveling around, showing up to Western countries as like part of the Venezuelan delegation, and like everybody has agreed to pretend that this is the rightful leader of Venezuela. He's not in control in Venezuela. He's not running the country. He's not leading Venezuela. But all the Western governments have agreed to pretend. Like, sure, this is the guy right here. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember this stuff about Iraq, but that would be like, what's his name? Chalabi, the guy who we wanted to be like the dictator of Iraq after Saddam. It'd be like him traveling around just being like, yeah, I'm the leader of Iraq. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, but at least back then, they didn't try to say he was unless or until he actually became the leader of Iraq, because he had no backing in the country. With Juan Guaido, they're all in. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to pretend like you're the leader. And then you have, like U.S. outlets report it uncritically. Like President Juan Guaido. That's not the president. Again, agree or disagree with Maduro, like him, dislike him, irrelevant. He's not in control in the country. What are we doing here? So it's almost like, it's funny to watch all this stuff because it really is, you want to talk about imperial decline? This is like sharp imperial decline. I forget who said this. I think it was Matt Taibbi who said that Trump is like Fredo Corleone in The Godfather. Trump is like Fredo Corleone. Obama was Michael Corleone, like Al Pacino's character, like kind of like the ruthless but competent manager. And then you have like the dumb one, Fredo, and Fredo is now in control of the United States. And they're trying harebrained silliness, like pretending this guy's the leader of a country when he's not. And so, of course, I wouldn't put it by them to pay some, some cockamamie security group to try to go and be heroes in Venezuela. And, it's like, I said this on the last segment about this, but it really does remind me of that show. Now, I didn't watch that Netflix show because I was reading about it beforehand. It just looks like rank propaganda. I mean, if you want to enjoy it and put aside the political implications of it, but they're trying to pretend in, I think is it Netflix or Amazon? I don't know. I think it's a Netflix show. But they're trying to pretend in that Jack Ryan show that, like, Venezuela's, like, really dangerous and they might, like, nuke America, so we have to send some Americans there to save the day and stuff, and no big deal or anything, but they're just going to save the day from Venezuela doing terrorism against the United States. There is no Venezuelan terrorism against the United States. Let's stop pretending. But it's like, these people watch one too many episodes of that show, and they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna try that, bro. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go topple Maduro. How did you think this was gonna unfold? Imagine, and then, like, the conversation about it is all strategic. Like, nobody says, and there was almost another segment I clipped out for you to make this point. They brought on a military advisor onto Fox News, and he's talking about what happened here. And he calls it, like, naive and silly and all these words. And it's like, well, hold on now. This isn't just like a strategic mistake. This isn't just an oopsie. This is like a war crime. It's a violation of a country's sovereignty. You can't just, like, willy-nilly consider, yeah, maybe we'll overthrow it from the outside, or maybe we won't. No! Imagine if somebody did it to us. See, that's the exercise that will just always blow your mind about how much hubris and arrogance there is in American empire, is that if you do the intellectual exercise of, like, the way that Trump is talking about Venezuela here, like, listen, if I wanted to overthrow him, I'd do an invasion, and I'd overthrow him, and it'd be over. It'd be a rap ski, son. What are you talking about? Imagine other countries said that about us. Imagine they were like, yeah, the United States, rogue regime, terrorist regime, illegally invades countries, kills hundreds of thousands, if not millions of civilians. I mean, yeah, we could just overthrow him. We should just overthrow him. If I wanted to overthrow him, I'd just overthrow him, just do an invasion. If people spoke about us that way, it'd be, oh, good sir! How dare you? But we do it about them, and it's called Tuesday. So there's just a total disregard of international law. To get back to the Guaido thing, imagine if Nancy Pelosi traveled to other countries and she just pretended like she was the president of the United States. Nancy Pelosi travels to foreign countries and is introduced as, like, the president of the United States. How would Trump's people react to that? They'd be like, what are you doing? That's totally illegitimate. But somehow it's okay with Guaido? It's amazing. And by the way, the other thing is they act like Trump loves to pretend like he's anti-war. We're still in Iraq. We're still in Afghanistan. We're still in all the places we were under Barack Obama in the Middle East. He's escalating more and more with Iran in, like, a really devastating way, sanctioning medicine from going into that country, which kills people, kills human beings. I do think they were probably behind, to one extent or another, this coup attempt in Venezuela. Don't give me your nonsense. Because it's the same thing Obama used to do, where he used to talk about, oh, we're going to get out of Iraq. We're going to do it relatively quickly. And then we just wouldn't get out. And it's like, well, So stop saying that you're going to do it because you're a liar. You're not doing it. Same thing with Trump in this respect. So just casually making threats on TV news, like, yeah, if I wanted to do it, I'd do it. I'd go in there and topple him, be over very quickly. It'd be over very quickly. He's done this before, talking about the Middle East, talking about like Afghanistan and Iraq. I could end this very quickly. I could just drop a nuclear weapon, but I don't want to kill hundreds of thousands of people. Oh my God, dude, please shut up. Just stop talking. But yeah, this is Mr. Bean's attempt to do a coup. And they asked him if he's going to help these people. He didn't say anything. I would guess that that's probably another part of the deal. Like maybe they're trying to work back channels to help these people to get them out of there. But I mean, you get caught trying to overthrow a foreign country. How do you think the United States would respond if we caught coup plotters? If Trump caught somebody literally trying to overthrow him in a violent revolution with guns and everything, how would he react to that? Pretty sure those people would not be seeing the light of day again. So that might have been another part of the deal is, hey, if you get caught, man, you're on your own. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And by the way, there's very little discussion about this. The only discussion about this I saw was on Fox News, and they brought on a military, expert to be like, well, this was naive and these weren't professionals and blah, 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 blah. There's no talk about this in any serious way as the big story that it is. Like, oh my God, people just going around casually trying to do coups, probably backed by the United States. I mean, it should be a huge story, but no, we have this. Again, this is how you know the media, it's establishment media, it's elite media, because they don't focus on the things that the establishment doesn't want them to focus on. And so, they're more likely to do their normal hack partisan coverage, totally uninteresting, than to cover real stories like an attempted coup of a sovereign nation. It's a shame.